Welcome to the Our Team Podcast, powered by eXp Realty. Are you an agent looking to level up? Are you someone looking to buy or sell real estate? Fantastic. This is the show for you. Well, welcome back. Today we're spending a little bit of time here with Blake, talking about the new agent series we had discussed. So kind of on the lines of, so you got your license, now what?
Good question. And that's something, as a certified mentor with eXp, I talk to a lot of new agents all the time. And a lot of new agents, they're so focused on, and I talk to agents even before they get their license as they're going through their classes. And a couple things that I always ask is, where are you going to hang your license and what is your plan to do next? And I laugh because when you're going to school, nobody tells you what to do, right? Everyone's going to take their real estate courses and classes and they think, hey, I see it on TV. I'm just going to walk out of my house. I just got my license and people are going to be like, hey, I want to sell you, or I want to sell my house. That's not how it works. I was talking with Garrett the other day, and I said, as a new agent in today's world with how fast and all the technology and things are going, especially being a solo agent, it's almost like telling your friend, hey, I want to start, hiking and camping and orienteering like you do. And they say, okay, we have a trip coming up. Why don't you come with us next week? And you show up in the morning and you're ready to hike Mount Everest, and you're looking around saying, what the fuck am I supposed to do? But that's what it could feel like as a new agent. You get your license, and what am I supposed to do?
That is the question. What do you do? What are the steps? You pass the test, now what?
Yeah, and what I would recommend first and foremost, people that are taking their test, in the process of taking the courses to take your test, that's when you should be out interviewing teams, other agents, and brokerages. Not every agent's going to join a team. Not every person is cut out or wants to be on a team. Some people are going to get their real estate license and want to do 2 or 3 transactions a year. That's just going to give supplemental income for the house. Other people, they're going to need to be the breadwinner, so they're going to, want to set themselves up for more success. The biggest thing that I tell and try to give everyone advice for is look at a brokerage and or team where, one, you're going to get the most amount of opportunities. Because opportunities are massive. Most people I talk to, of course, money is kind of a big deal. And that's something that keeps the world go around. But if your whole objective of getting into real estate is to make a lot of money or get into money, they're never going to pan out, right? The ones that really are successful early on are those who are orientated based on relationships. Hey, I want to help people with the American dream. I want to build more and more relationships. And that's what's going to help them, accomplish. If their why is good enough, they're going to get where they need to be. But a lot of those newer agents, even when they're in school or right when they get their license, I talk to them, ask them, hey, what are your thoughts? I like this brokerage because of this. I like this brokerage because of that. 90% of the time, they all come back, I like this one because of this split. Don't worry about the damn split. Yes, that is important. But if you're as good as you say you are, or if you're as good as you think you're going to be, the split doesn't matter. Right? A lot of times these brokerages that are 100% commission, 95% commission to someone who's brand new, they're not going to give you very many opportunities. There's not going to be any trainings. There's no real incentive or foundation that's going to help you build a business from what I've seen. And that's kind of, my input on that.
What brokerages are there and what should they be looking for?
Well, there's many different brokerages out there. You have big box brokerages, the big brick and mortars, and then there's smaller ones, and there's mom and pops, and there's little local brokerages. There's so many different shapes and sizes when it comes to brokerages, and finding that fit is huge. But what I would do is make a pros and cons list. And the biggest thing I'd be looking at is trainings and other than opportunities. So opportunities is huge because how are you going to generate business? If you're brand new, you don't have any business. Let's be real. Now, are you going to walk right into a real estate office and they say, here are $10 million leads? Absolutely not, right? Because it's going to take time. Most of your first deals are going to come from your friends and family and your center of influence. That's just what it is. So with that being said, how are you going to get to the next level? At our brokerage at eXp, we have a phenomenal mentor program that is geared toward brand new agents or any agent that hasn't sold 3 transactions within the last 12 months. It's excellent. It's really geared to help them not only build a business, but be very, very successful for years to come. There's a lot of modules inside of the EXP world. You have a one-on-one mentor that's there to answer any of your calls, so on and so forth, as you need it. There are other brokerages out there that do offer trainings, but I've not seen anything to the extent that EXP offers. A lot of brokerages have an office meeting once a week and call that training. Well, as a new agent, unless you walk into an office and a veteran kind of pulls you under their wing and says, hey, I want to help you out, you're a fish out of water. You don't have a whole lot of, opportunities. And, I went the team route, obviously, and it has made a lot of sense for me. And I believe that the opportunities that I've been given and are continue to given are going to help with my success. And it all comes down to, opportunities. I have people ask me all the time, well, you can go for this or you can go get more. Just like I tell our team, I would take 10% of a watermelon over 100% of a grape any day of the week. So when I'm looking for, when an agent calls me or a prospective agent says, hey, I'm looking for a brokerage, opportunities, huge. Training, absolutely. The mentorships, the camaraderie, the culture. The culture's got to be big too. You do not want to go work somewhere that you're not going to fit in. You're not going to blend in. Okay, I'm not saying you have to look like everybody, act like everybody. But if you're 18 years old, you don't want to go to an office where everybody's in their mid-60s, right? Culture is huge. Culture is something that is going to make you excited to get out of bed. And that synergy you feel when you walk into the office. You're on a Zoom call. Those are the things that are going to propel you. And maybe a little competition's also good. Some people are driven by competition. They see other people that are similar, skill levels and so on and so forth, business size, and they want to push each other. That is also awesome. So there's a lot of different ways. But I think being a new agent, the biggest, hardest, scariest thing is where do I go and how am I going to be the best? Because where a lot of agents that I talk to, even after their first year, first 6 months, they start bouncing around all these different brokerages. What are you chasing? What are you looking for? I say, oh, well, I'm not getting that many leads. Well, you shouldn't be looking toward your brokerage necessarily for leads. But if your brokerage has partnerships that lead to opportunities for you, that turns into leads. But you need to learn how to generate your own leads. That's the whole point of being in business. If you own a taco shop, you got to get people in to buy your tacos. You own a furniture store, same thing. You have to get people in to sell them furniture, right? Look at Mattress Mac. He creates all these amazing marketing strategies. Hey, we're going to go bet on the Astros and we're going to split it. They just won $25 million. Marketing, right? It's a genius. Same thing in real estate. If people aren't coming to you to buy and sell, you're out of business. So you have to find people or a team or a brokerage that's going to help you and give you the tools to expand those opportunities.
And what questions do you think, everybody doesn't know what they don't know. Yeah. What are the questions that you don't know when you start out?
Well, the biggest questions that I'd be looking for, going into different brokerages to interview the managers and looking at things, because they're all going to tell you what you want to hear. I'd be asking them, being upfront honest, what kind of training can I expect? How many hours a week, Mr. or Mrs. Manager, can I guarantee that you're going to help me with trainings? What do those trainings look like? Is it going to be one-on-one? Is it going to be a group setting? How often? What are those frequencies? Can I call you at 10 o'clock at night when I'm trying to type my first offer? Those are the questions that I would be asking. Yes, every manager wants more and more agents. That's how they get paid. Recruit, right? So those are things that I would be looking at. And as I'm looking at it as, hey, how easy is it for me to get in contact with you? What does that look like? How busy is your schedule? So in addition to trainings, how receptive and how open are you to answer my questions on a fly? Those are kind of a big deal. Are there any agents here in the office that can help me, mentor me on a day-to-day basis? Most managers aren't going to have time to sit there and train all the new agents. Is there an agent here that does that? Because there's a lot of things to cover in real estate, not just the nuts and bolts that you learn as far as contracts and keeping you out of trouble, what they teach you in school. Once you get into real estate, the first thing you got to do is learn how to market. Because if you're not marketing yourself, you're shit out of luck, right? Kind of goes back to a couple podcasts ago where we talked about being a peacock. You can't be a chameleon. If everybody's doing the same thing, blending in, you're never going to stand out. So you got to learn how to market. They don't teach you that at real estate school. You have to learn how to, understand the contracts, but now you're going to have to learn how to use the MLS. You're going to have to write contracts. There's many layers to it. It's not just, hey, I got my real estate license. I like how houses look. I'm really cool with people, and I'm just going to, have all this business. There's actually a lot of different layers that go into this cake, that most people don't know. Real estate is a lot different in real life than it is shown on TV.
If you had agreed 300%, it's very different. Training, you're correct, is going to be the key differentiator.
First brokerage I ever went to was at Coldwell Banker. And so I had a different experience than most people, coming out of school and so on and so forth. So before I had my license, I started working with my mother-in-law and father-in-law, and I started shadowing them. So that kind of gave me a little bit of a head start as I was taking all my courses and classes. I was doing some marketing things for them, and I was going on showings here or there just to kind of understand and kind of get a feel of what was going on. So I was going to Coldwell Banker no matter what. So I wasn't out there interviewing all these different brokerages. And to be completely honest, I never thought we were ever going to leave Coldwell Banker. There was a lot of tools, a lot of things that they offered that were really amazing. And I joined my mother-in-law and father-in-law's team. So, for me, things were different. I was in an office, and I was the youngest agent by like 15 years, to be honest, and maybe 10 years, but I never thought I'd leave there. Old brick and mortar style. It was awesome. Well, then as we fast forward and COVID happened, we've been talking about different things as, years go on, and that's just how you do as businesses, you evaluate and so on and so forth. Well, when our office was closed down during COVID and we were talking to other people and we had to make a pivot, we went to EXP. And to be completely honest, my biggest regret is not joining EXP from the beginning. As far as the training standpoint goes, it's incredible. There's so many trainings. And the biggest hiccup for me, I'm not a video game guy. So I was like, I don't know about this whole avatar thing. I don't spend that much time in the EXP world. I do when I need to get in there and see what, if I have a question that needs to be answered or any of our trainings. There's over 50 classes a week. Every single week, over 50 classes a week in the EXP world. As new agents, there's 14 different modules that you can go through. 12 to 14 modules called the Fast Start and Fast, Forward Movement. That's a different deal. But at EXP, what's so unique about our brokerage is everybody's willing to help. When I was at Coldwell Banker, everyone's office door was shut. Nobody was telling you any trade secrets. I can call, pick up the phone, reach out to any of the upline senior partners that are in my organization, and they're willing to help me out. There's other agents in our network, in our organization, that aren't even senior partners in my organization that will reach out and lend a hand. There's just a different demeanor at EXP that I've come, to learn and to understand. And, there's so many different examples and ways I can explain that. But perfect example, last week, someone who's not in our direct organization sat down, went over something on a Zoom to help us with a new marketing ad that is on fire. And he didn't have to do that. He has zero vested interest. The reason he did it, and the reason most people that I've come to realize and know at EXP, we're all in it for the same thing, building relationships and helping each other out, right? And we're all building up together. It's not a race of who's bigger, better, and so on and so forth. If you're good, everybody already knows that, right? We know who the best of the best are, and they're the ones that are always giving out the most free stuff, which is completely different than anything else I've ever seen.
Your final thought, what does that look like for you?
Well, I think, everyone that's listening to this podcast is obviously pretty smart and intelligent. Otherwise, they wouldn't be listening. But I think it's doing your homework. And I would talk to as many agents, different agents at different brokerages as you can talk to. And it's not always going to work with your friends, because I've seen a lot of agents say, hey, I'm going to go to this brokerage over here or this brokerage there. Why? I know someone that works there. Well, what happens, a lot of people are caught up in their own business. So as a friend comes in to come work with them, their machine's going. They don't have time to hit the brakes to bring somebody else on the train, right? So if you are a new agent or you're thinking about becoming a new agent, one, I think the team approach is huge. I think it's amazing, especially for training new agents. Number two, I think our brokerage is pretty amazing for new agents, especially if you're a solo agent. Our brokerage is fantastic, and it's designed kind of the team style. But as a solo agent as well, you can be very, very successful with our mentor program, all the different trainings, and getting plugged in with a mentor that's going to take care of you and help guide you. So when you do submit an offer, everything is dialed in. Eric, I'm sure you've seen it on some of your listings. You get offers from brand new agents and it's not fully complete. Well, if you're in the mentor program or you have a team, they have stopgaps in there, so that doesn't happen. We want to make sure that when you submit an offer, it's going to get accepted, giving you and your clients the best opportunity, right? So I think having that team atmosphere and being at a brokerage that really supports everybody is key.
I agree, and I thank you for your time, and we'll do this again.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it.
And should there be any questions, feel free to reach out to any one of us, and there'll be a link in the description. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Hey,
Bye.
wait, before you go, I wanted to quickly thank you for tuning in to the Our Team podcast. And whether you're listening on Facebook Live or you're tuning in on YouTube or maybe listening to a podcast, I wanted to just say, if you found any value in this, would you please take the time to like and subscribe? And if you leave a comment, that really helps the show as well. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.